what dying on every planet would feel like.
Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, but if you think that means it's hot all
Let's guess which one is gonna be the most painful. I'ma guess like Jupiter or some shit, or Uranus.
the time,
Face
you're
that.
wrong. At night, temperatures can plummet to an icy minus 180 degrees Celsius. During the day, however, they can skyrocket to 430 degrees Celsius. This
Damn.
extreme imbalance happens because Mercury doesn't have a proper atmosphere to regulate temperature. Instead, it has a very thin exosphere, which doesn't maintain heat. While apart from temperature, you wouldn't have to worry about weather on Mercury, the real dangers come from solar radiation and the lack of breathable air. In fact, Mercury gets almost 7 times the solar irradiance that Earth receives. As the smallest planet in the solar system, Mercury is full of craters, cliffs, and bumpy terrain, making
Damn.
it a pretty tough place to land as well. The low air resistance doesn't help either. It would make slowing down
Bro, do y'all ever think like how lucky we are? Like, damn, our planet, Earth is the only planet in our solar system that is habitable. Like, that shit is crazy. Like, that's like a 1 in like a trillionth chance, bro. For like, that shit is crazy. Y'all ever think about that? Like, this shit's actually like, it's like one of those things, like, if you try to think about it or try to fathom it, like, your shit, like, you gonna fuck up your brain type shit. Hold on, my PC tweaking.
a spaceship much harder, increasing the chances of a high-speed crash. Landing during the daytime is out of the question because of the extreme heat. The
Damn.
latest NASA spacesuits can only handle up to 121 degrees Celsius, nowhere near Mercury's daytime temperatures of 430 degrees Celsius.
Damn.
Plus, keep in mind,
What the fuck? 860 degrees, nigga? That's like Las Vegas times 8. I would melt, nigga. What the fuck?
that Mercury's day lasts about half a year due to its slow rotation.
crazy.
Nighttime isn't much better. Temperatures of minus 180 degrees Celsius far exceed NASA suit's lower limit of minus 157 degrees Celsius, so you'd still freeze. Your best bet would be to try landing in the Terminator zone, the area between day and night where temperatures are more moderate. Even there, however, it can be risky, as temperatures can change relatively quickly.
Damn.
Venus. Venus is the closest planet to Earth, sitting just 40 million kilometers away. This means the journey there would be relatively short, about 4 months. Its size and gravity wouldn't pose much of a problem, as they're pretty similar to
4 months, nigga. That's mad long. How long do it take to get to the moon? And don't we got like shit on Mars, nigga? How long does it take to get to Mars? Shit, I guess we gonna find out.
Earth's. The first real issue you'd face, though, would be those beautiful yellow clouds you'd see as you approached the surface. Unfortunately, they're made of sulfuric acid, a highly corrosive substance that would destroy your lungs in seconds. But let's assume you've got a spacesuit advanced enough to filter it out. As you descend to the surface, you'd notice visibility dropping drastically. The atmosphere becomes incredibly thick, made mostly of carbon dioxide, so you wouldn't be able to see much. Then there's the heat, an unbearable 450 degrees Celsius.
Bro, this is what I be thinking though too though. Like, you know how we say these planets is like uninhabitable? Is that shit cap? Like, is there like some type of species that has like adapted to this type of shit in like a crazy ass way, and they're like surviving on this planet? Or is it just like no way possible? I mean, I guess nothing could be no way possible. Y'all get what I'm saying though, chat? Like, is there some type of species that we probably just can't fathom the type of species there would be on this type of planet because we don't have it on ours? Like, that would be like some super species type shit.
If that wasn't enough, only about 10% of the sunlight reaches the surface, as it's blocked by the thick atmosphere, so it'd be pretty dark. On the surface, moving your arms and legs would be a serious struggle. Even though gravity is nearly the same as on Earth, the air is so dense you'd feel like you're wading through a heavy liquid. With a good pressurized suit, you might last a few seconds down there, but before long, the pressure, about 92 bars compared to Earth's 1 bar at sea level, would crush your suit. And if that didn't kill you, the sulfuric acid you'd start breathing once your suit broke definitely would. Mars.
Wow.
Mars is the second closest planet to Earth and the most habitable of all 8 planets. Daytime temperatures are much less extreme compared to
Shit, I guess that's how we know there's no like life on those other planets, because shit, we went to Mars and it's not shit there, just like rocks and shit. Bro, that's so crazy though. Like, how is it no life though on those planets though? Like, how has like no species ever been like dropped? Because those planets like were like somewhat habitable like mad like billions of years ago. I feel like so like it had to have been some life on them shits, and I wonder what that life was.
Mercury and Venus, reaching up to a relatively comfortable 20 degrees Celsius. However, the real challenge comes at night, or in certain parts of the planet, where temperatures can drop as low as minus 153 degrees Celsius. Another big issue, similar to Mercury, is Mars's incredibly thin atmosphere.
Damn,
It's mostly made up of
Hold on
carbon
now.
dioxide, with only trace amounts of oxygen, meaning there's not
Mercury look a little bit habitable.
that much breathable air. This thin atmosphere also results in low pressure and high levels of radiation exposure, both of which are incredibly dangerous. The average natural radiation level on Mars is 24 to 30 rads, which is about 40 to 50 times the average on Earth. On top of
Damn.
that, Mars experiences frequent and extremely violent dust storms, with wind speeds reaching up to 100 kilometers per hour. These storms could pose serious challenges, so any attempt at habitation would require a sustainable, airtight, and well-insulated life support system. Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet out of the 8, and it's one of the hardest planets to land on, primarily because of its extreme radiation levels. Even 300,000 kilometers away, the radiation would start penetrating your suit and you'd be done for. But since that's a boring outcome,
Wow.
let's assume you have a hypothetical suit that can block the radiation. Jupiter's gravity is 2.4 times stronger than Earth's, meaning you'd be falling incredibly fast. As you enter the first layers of the atmosphere, you'd encounter white clouds made of frozen ammonia crystals, with temperatures
Damn.
around minus
That's fire.
150 degrees Celsius. The winds here are no joke, reaching insane speeds of up to 482 kilometers per hour.
Like, how do we know all this? Like, chat, like, am I just dumb as fuck? But how do we know all this if we've never been on a planet? Like, gang, who's like making these type of calculations and shit when we never been there?
If you manage to descend
Like, never even been close to this shit is what I'm saying. Like, nigga, y'all just have pics of this shit. Like, damn, bro, make you think, bro. Like, space is like one of those things, like, you could go down that type of hole like forever, nigga.
and about 150 kilometers through these top layers, you'd reach the deepest point ever explored. This is how far NASA's Galileo probe got back in 1995.
Oh shit, we got probes out there. I'll be
1995. Beyond this point, things start getting darker, and both temperature and pressure increase rapidly. Just as a fun fact, the pressure near Jupiter's center is estimated to be about 100 million times Earth's atmospheric pressure. After hours of falling, you might reach Jupiter's inner layers, where you'd encounter a supercritical fluid, a state that's not quite liquid but not gas either. Here, you'd kind of be swimming in this bizarre substance. If you continued further toward the
Damn.
center, you'd encounter metallic hydrogen, an extremely dense liquid that would trap you. But if you somehow managed to get through that, you'd reach Jupiter's core, though we're not entirely sure if it's solid or not. The temperatures here would be about 24,000 degrees.
yeah, like, is this shit solid or what, nigga? Like, what type of planet is this? Is this like a gas, like, liquid gas planet? Like, what the fuck? 100% liquid type planet? Like, what's going on?
Degrees Celsius, roughly
no land on this
4.5 times hotter than the sun's surface. Saturn. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system, with an atmosphere primarily made of hydrogen and helium. The first challenge would be avoiding a crash with one of its 146 orbiting moons. Once you manage that, you'd encounter its iconic rings, which are
146?
made of debris from old moons, ice pellets, comets, and asteroids. Let's assume you're either an incredibly skilled pilot or your spaceship is indestructible, so you don't meet your end by smashing into space junk. As you approach Saturn,
Damn, is that how the ring looks?
spaceship is indestructible,
Or
so you
what-
don't meet
Or would look if you got close to it? Damn, so the ring is just rocks hovering around that bitch, orbiting around of it.
your end by smashing into space junk.
Kinda fire.
As you approach Saturn's equator, you'd witness an incredible spectacle of red and purple auras caused by highly energetic hydrogen
Nah,
in the
that's just me.
atmosphere.
That's
However,
just me,
this
chat.
beauty comes with a catch. Hurricane-force winds blasting at speeds of around 1,800 kilometers per hour would make it nearly impossible to stay steady. Trying to enter from the North Pole wouldn't be any better. Up there, you'd face a massive storm so large you could fit 2 Earths inside it. This region also has
Whoa.
ammonia clouds, similar to Jupiter's, and temperatures that can plummet to a bone-chilling minus 250 degrees Celsius. As you fall deeper through the layers of clouds, the temperatures would start to rise again, eventually reaching 0 degrees Celsius. At this point, while the cold becomes less of an issue, pressure becomes your biggest enemy. It increases to levels comparable to the deepest parts of Earth's oceans.
Damn.
Continuing further, the gases around you would transition into a liquid state. If you somehow survived long enough to reach the center of Saturn, you'd encounter its molten rocky core, which is about 10 times the size of Earth. Temperatures here
So do none of these other planets have like solid land? Damn, Earth looks crazy. Damn. We miracles, chat. We all miracles.
reach a scorching 11,700 degrees Celsius, more than twice as hot as the
Oh,
sun's
God,
surface,
man.
with pressure roughly 1,000 times greater than Earth's. Uranus. This is where planets start getting really far from Earth, making the journey incredibly long. Uranus is one of the 2 ice giants and the only planet
How long would it take us to get there, chat? How much years?
in the solar system that spins on its side. It also rotates faster than Earth, with a day lasting just 17 Earth hours. By the way, being an ice giant doesn't mean the planet is a solid ball of ice. Instead, it means it's primarily composed of elements heavier than hydrogen and helium. Like
Damn.
Saturn, you'd need to avoid crashing into its rings. Once you pass them, you'd find yourself surrounded by toxic gas, and the temperature would drop rapidly to below minus 200 degrees Celsius.
Damn.
This makes it the coldest planet in the solar system. If the freezing cold and poisonous atmosphere didn't get you, you'd descend through the first layer of the atmosphere. Here, things get even worse. The air becomes dense, and you'd be pelted by ice pellets. Eventually,
Wow.
you'd reach something truly spectacular, a rain of diamonds, driven by winds of up to 900 kilometers per hour. But once again, there's a catch. The pressure here is about 100 times
Shit.
greater than Earth,
It's raining diamonds out that bit. Let me go over there and get rich real quick. How long does it gonna take me to get there though?
which would ultimately
I'm looking it up. Fuck it. How long would it take to get to several years to a decade? What the fuck? Oh hell nah, nigga, that's way too long. Nigga, I'm gonna come back a old ass nigga. Damn, that's a 20-year trip in total if I make it.
crush you.
That's
Neptune.
crazy.
Neptune is the second ice giant after Uranus, and its composition is very similar. Being the farthest planet from the Sun, 30 times farther than Earth, it's incredibly dark. Like Uranus, Neptune is extremely cold in its outer layers, but the inner layers are intensely hot due to immense pressure and heat from its core. Matter of fact, its core is about 7,000 degrees Celsius, which is hotter than the Sun's surface. It also experiences the famous diamond rain, caused by high
Hey.
pressure breaking down methane and forming solid diamonds. Neptune's winds are among the
Shit, let me
strongest
get
in
in
the
that
solar
rain.
system, reaching supersonic speeds. In many ways, it's basically a twin of Uranus, so there isn't much to add. If you liked this video, subscribe
Damn,
for
what
similar
about
ones
Pluto,
or join
nigga?
my Discord.
I know it's not a planet no more, but shit, they left that nigga out the conversation completely. But I like this video. I love this video. I love y'all. Catch me on Twitch, Jama Devu. I'm gonna catch y'all next video. Peace.